Welcome back to Pocket Change Coins. Love hidden coin treasures? First, we're revealing coins that could be worth much more than you think. New here? Like, subscribe, and let's dive in. We're diving into a coin that's not only beautiful and symbolic, but could also be a hidden goldmine. So get ready, because we're taking a closer look at the Oklahoma State Quarter, minted in 2008, with the P mint mark from Philadelphia. You've probably seen this coin before, maybe even spent it without a second thought, but today, you'll find out why this quarter is so much more than just 25 cents. Let's rewind the clock for a second. The Oklahoma Quarter was part of the 50 State Quarters program, one of the most popular coin series the U.S. Mint ever released. From 1999 to 2008, each state was honored with its own unique quarter design, and in 2008, as the program came to an end, Oklahoma finally got its moment to shine. Now, what makes the Oklahoma Quarter stand out is its breathtaking reverse design. At the center, soaring across the coin with elegance and grace, is the scissor-tailed flycatcher, Oklahoma's official state bird. Its wings are spread in mid-flight, feathers trailing behind it like ribbons in the wind. It's surrounded by a cluster of Indian blanket wildflowers, the official state flower, blooming in vibrant detail. Together, these symbols represent the state's natural beauty, resilience, and deep cultural roots. It's not just a coin, it's a tribute to Oklahoma's wide-open skies and strong spirit. On the other side, of course, is the classic image of George Washington, America's first president, gazing stoically forward. But if you look closely, just to the right of Washington's ponytail, you'll find a small letter, a P. That's the Philadelphia Mint mark, and it plays a key role in this coin story. You see, the Philadelphia Mint struck millions of Oklahoma quarters in 2008. Most of them are still floating around in everyday circulation, worn down, scratched up, and worth exactly what they say, 25 cents. But here's where it gets exciting, that a tiny handful of these 2008 P Oklahoma quarters are not like the others. Some were struck with incredible sharpness and flawless detail, what collectors call mint state condition. Others were minted with errors, those rare, unpredictable mistakes that transform a common coin into a collector's dream. What kinds of errors? We're talking about double dies, where parts of the design appear duplicated. Off-center strikes, where the coin was misaligned during the minting process. Even die cracks, rim errors, and unusual planchet flaws that only show up once in a million. These aren't the kinds of things you'll notice at first glance. But to trained eyes, and serious collectors, they're signs of hidden value. Add to that the fact that Oklahoma was one of the final 5 states in the program, meaning collector interest was already peaking when it was released. And when you combine a popular design, limited high-grade survival rate, and rare minting errors, you get the perfect storm for a valuable coin. So, what should you be looking for? First, check the coin's condition. Does it look fresh, almost untouched? Are the details of the bird and flowers sharp and crisp? If it has that bright, lustrous shine and no visible scratches, you may have something worth looking into. Next, grab a magnifying glass and take a closer look at the letters and design elements. Any doubling? Any strange markings or misalignments? If something looks off, that might be a good thing, and don't forget to check for edge errors, like partial reading or a missing edge detail. These things might seem like flaws, but they're exactly what collectors want. If you find a coin that fits the bill, especially with a rare error and in brilliant uncirculated condition, it's worth sending in to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Their official certification can turn your interesting find into a verified collectible, and open up doors to major coin auctions. Now, here's the part you've been waiting for. Among the 2008 P Oklahoma quarters, a few rare examples have already found their way into the hands of top collectors. One of these coins, in extraordinary condition and featuring a significant minting error, was recently graded and placed in a national auction, and when the bidding ended, that single quarter, just 25 cents on its face, sold for an incredible $66,000. Yes, $66,000. For a coin you might find in your change today. So before you drop that next quarter into a vending machine or toss it into a tip jar, take a second and look closer. Because it just might be the most valuable coin you've ever held. Second rare coin, we're talking about the New Hampshire State Quarter, minted in the year 2000, with the P mint mark from Philadelphia. At first glance, this quarter might not seem out of the ordinary. It's just one of the 50 state quarters released by the U.S. Mint between 1999 and 2008. But as you'll soon find out, there's much more to this coin than meets the eye, and if you've got the right one, it could be worth far more than just 25 cents. Let's start with the story behind the design. The reverse side of the New Hampshire Quarter features one of the most recognizable natural rock formations in U.S. history, the Old Man of the Mountain. This massive granite profile, naturally carved into the cliffs of Cannon Mountain, was more than just a landmark, it was a symbol of strength, endurance, and the spirit of New Hampshire itself. Sadly, this iconic rock formation collapsed in 2003, just 3 years after the coin was released. That fact alone adds a level of emotional and historical depth to the quarter, turning it into more than just a collectible. It's a tribute to something now lost forever. Below the Old Man of the Mountain, you'll find the state's motto, "Live free or die." It doesn't get more powerful than that. Those words reflect the fierce independence and strong-willed character that helped shape the Granite State and the nation as a whole. Now let's flip the coin over. On the obverse side, of course, is George Washington, calm, composed, and forever immortalized as the face of the quarter. But just to the right of his ponytail, you'll notice the tiny P mint mark, showing that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Here's where things start to get interesting. The Philadelphia Mint produced millions of these quarters in 2000. Most of them were circulated, used, tossed into jars, spent at stores, or forgotten in drawers. But among them, scattered like hidden gems, are quarters that were minted with flaws, errors, and striking differences that have made them highly sought after by collectors. We're talking about double die errors, where parts of the design are accidentally struck twice, creating a ghost-like doubling of letters or images. Or off-center strikes, where the coin's design is visibly misaligned. Some even have die breaks, tiny cracks or cuts that form during the minting process, and here's the kicker. When those rare minting errors happen on a coin that's also in near-perfect condition, something magical happens. Its value skyrockets. These kinds of coins are known as mint state or MS-graded coins. And the higher the grade, like MS 67, MS 68, or better, the more desirable and valuable the coin becomes. That's because most coins from the year 2000 have been in circulation for over 2 decades. Finding one in flawless, uncirculated condition is incredibly rare, but when you combine rarity, error, and condition, you get a collector's dream. And let's not forget the emotional side. Because the Old Man of the Mountain no longer exists in real life, this coin now serves as one of the few lasting tributes to its memory. It's a piece of American heritage captured in metal, and that kind of symbolism only adds to its allure. So what should you be looking for? Start by checking your change, your coin rolls, even those forgotten jars around the house. Look for the 2000 New Hampshire Quarter with the P mint mark. Then examine the coin carefully. Is the image clear and sharp? Is the surface bright and scratch-free? Look closely at the lettering for signs of doubling, check the rim for alignment issues, and inspect for unusual bumps or lines that could indicate a minting error. If you find a coin that checks these boxes, it might be worth sending in to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it, assign it a grade, and seal it in a tamper-proof case, turning your coin into a certified piece of history. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Among the rarest of the 2000 P New Hampshire quarters, those with error varieties and exceptional mint condition, one remarkable example was recently graded and auctioned off to an eager collector. The bidding was intense, and the final sale price stunned even longtime experts. That single quarter, once worth just 25 cents, ended up selling for $74,000. Yes, you heard that right. $74,000. So the next time you're handed change, don't just drop it in your pocket and forget about it. Take a moment. Check your coins. Because you might just be holding onto a small, shiny piece of history, and a fortune in disguise. Third expensive coin, we're talking about the Louisiana State Quarter, minted in 2002 with the P mint mark from Philadelphia. This quarter isn't just a simple piece of currency, it's a window into the rich history and culture of one of America's most unique states. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed by what this coin could be worth. Let's start by taking a quick dive into the history behind the Louisiana Quarter. As part of the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program, this quarter was released in 2002 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Louisiana's statehood. Louisiana officially became a state on April 30, 1812, and the quarter beautifully commemorates that milestone with an intricate design that's as rich in symbolism as the state itself. Now, let's take a closer look at the design. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find a stunning depiction of the Louisiana Purchase, the historic land deal that doubled the size of the United States in 1803, paving the way for the state's eventual admission into the Union. The design shows two figures, a pelican perched on a branch, and a muskrat, both native animals of Louisiana, with the Mardi Gras colors of purple, green, and gold subtly reflecting the state's lively culture. One of the most striking elements is the pelican, which is symbolic of Louisiana's natural beauty and environmental richness. The state is known for its abundant wildlife, and the pelican is especially important, as it's the state bird. Below these creatures, the quarter bears the inscription Louisiana 1812 to 2002, marking the bicentennial of the state's entry into the Union. On the front of the coin, you'll find the classic George Washington portrait, just as you see on all the state quarters, with the familiar peak mint mark indicating it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Now, let's get into the real reason we're here: value. You may be wondering how a relatively recent quarter, from a state that's already known for its unique charm, can be worth anything beyond its face value of 25 cents. Well, here's the thing: this quarter has become a hot commodity in the world of coin collectors, and its value has skyrocketed thanks to a couple of very specific factors. The first thing you should know is that the 2002 Louisiana State Quarter was minted in large quantities, over 1 billion coins in total. However, as time has passed, not all of these coins have survived in pristine condition. Most quarters get used, tossed around, and eventually find themselves in the bottom of drawers or stuck in the back of change jars. But some of these coins, particularly those that were never circulated, are still out there, and when found in mint state condition, they can be worth a lot more than just a quarter. What makes these coins even more valuable are the rare mint errors that occasionally occur during the striking process. Some 2002 Louisiana quarters were struck with misalignments, doubled images, or even die cracks. These imperfections are not only fascinating from a numismatic standpoint, but they also make the coins even more desirable to collectors. If you have one of these rare mint errors, you could be holding onto a truly special piece of history. Error coins like this can be worth thousands of dollars, as they represent an anomaly in the production process and are much harder to find than standard, well-circulated coins. Additionally, a pristine, uncirculated 2002 Louisiana Quarter, one with no visible wear or tarnish, can be worth significantly more than a regular quarter. The value of these high-grade, uncirculated coins has steadily risen over time as collectors continue to seek out coins from the 50 State Quarters program, particularly the ones in excellent condition. But there's more. The Louisiana Quarter, like many other state quarters, has been recognized not just as a collectible coin, but as a piece of art that reflects the culture, history, and natural beauty of the state it represents. Coins like this are in high demand not just because of their rarity, but also because they're tied to a specific cultural moment in history, the bicentennial of Louisiana. These commemorative coins can evoke a sense of pride, nostalgia, and regional pride, further driving up their value. So what kind of money are we talking about here? Well, the value of a 2002 Louisiana State Quarter depends on a few things: the condition of the coin, whether it's a standard issue or a rare mint error, and how many collectors are willing to pay for it. But to give you a real sense of what's possible, there was one 2002 Louisiana Quarter with a particularly rare error, graded in near-perfect condition, that sold for an astonishing $50,000. Yes, that's $50,000 for a single quarter. Imagine, just one coin, worth the same as a new car or a down payment on a house, simply because it had a flaw in the minting process or because it was kept in pristine condition. So, before you spend that next handful of change, remember to check your Louisiana State Quarters. You might be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. Whether you have one tucked away in a collection or you spot one in your next roll of quarters, take a moment to really look at it. If you find one with a mint error or in perfect condition, it could turn out to be much more valuable than you ever expected. Now, we're talking about the Harpers Ferry National Historical Park Quarter, released in 2016 with the D mint mark from Denver. It's a coin that represents a significant piece of American history, and you might be surprised to find out just how much it could be worth. Now, let's take a step back and explore the rich history behind the Harpers Ferry Quarter. This coin is part of the U.S. Mint's National Park Quarters program, which aimed to honor the country's most iconic national parks. Released in 2016, the Harpers Ferry Quarter features one of the most important sites in the history of the American Civil War and the struggle for freedom. Located in West Virginia, Harpers Ferry is a town that holds a special place in the heart of American history. It's known for being the site of John Brown's raid in 1859, an event that played a pivotal role in the lead-up to the Civil War. In addition to its Civil War history, Harpers Ferry is also renowned for its beautiful natural landscapes, including the point where the Shenandoah and Potomac rivers meet, creating breathtaking views that continue to attract visitors from all over the world. But this coin isn't just a piece of history, it's a work of art, too. On the reverse side of the quarter, you'll see a powerful image of John Brown's fort, the site where Brown and his followers made their stand during the raid. The design depicts this historic building surrounded by a lush landscape, capturing the significance of the event as well as the natural beauty of the area. It's a reminder of the sacrifices made for the freedoms we enjoy today and the enduring legacy of the people who fought for those freedoms. And then, of course, you've got the classic George Washington portrait on the obverse side of the coin, along with the inscription E Pluribus Unum, a nod to the nation's unity, as well as the mint mark D for Denver. But it's the design and symbolism of the reverse side that really makes this coin stand out. So, what's the real draw of this coin? It all comes down to rarity and condition. While millions of these quarters were minted in 2016, not all of them survived in pristine condition. Most of them were used in circulation, and over time, they've suffered from wear, scratches, and tarnish. But every so often, you come across a coin that's been preserved in mint state, untouched and flawless. These are the coins that hold serious value, but there's more to the story. Some Harpers Ferry quarters have been found with minting errors. These errors are extremely valuable to collectors because they make the coin even more unique. We're talking about things like double die errors, where the design appears more than once, or off-center strikes, where the image isn't aligned properly. These types of errors are like little treasures in the world of numismatics, and they can drive up the value of the coin dramatically. What makes this coin even more intriguing is the emotional and historical connection it carries. Harpers Ferry isn't just another national park, it's the site of a key moment in the fight for freedom in the United States. A coin that celebrates such an important event in American history has an inherent value that goes beyond its face value. Now, let's talk about the market for these coins. As you might expect, Harpers Ferry quarters that are in mint condition or that contain rare mint errors have been fetching impressive prices. And when I say impressive, I'm talking about serious money. While the average uncirculated 2016 D Harpers Ferry quarter might go for a few dollars above face value, the rare examples, those in flawless condition or with minting errors, can command much higher prices. In fact, one particularly rare and well-graded Harpers Ferry quarter was recently auctioned for a jaw-dropping $35,000. Yes, you heard that right, $35,000 for a single quarter. That's the kind of value we're talking about here. A coin that was once worth just 25 cents could end up putting $35,000 in your pocket, simply because it carries that rare combination of historical significance, perfect condition, and a potential minting error. If you happen to stumble upon a Harpers Ferry quarter in your change, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. Check the condition, look for any signs of wear, and carefully examine the design for any minting imperfections. You never know. What looks like a simple quarter might just be the start of your next great numismatic discovery. To wrap things up, it's clear that the Harpers Ferry quarter is much more than just a piece of currency. It's a symbol of one of the most pivotal moments in American history, and if you're lucky enough to find one in mint condition, or better yet, with a rare mint error, it could turn out to be worth much more than you ever expected. So, next time you get a handful of change, don't just toss those quarters aside. Take a closer look, you might just have a small treasure in your hands. If you're lucky enough to have one of these rare Harpers Ferry quarters, you could be holding onto a coin worth $35,000. Last unique coin, we're going to take a closer look at the Casachi National Forest Quarter, minted in 2015 with the D mint mark from Denver. This coin is not only a tribute to one of the country's most beautiful national parks, but it could also be worth much more than its face value. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at how much this quarter could actually be worth. First things first, let's talk about the history behind the Casachi National Forest Quarter. This quarter is part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, a series of coins that honors the United States national parks and forests. In 2015, Casachi National Forest in Louisiana was chosen as one of the featured sites. It's the only national forest in the state and covers over 600,000 acres of beautiful terrain. From longleaf pine forests to swamps and wetlands, Casachi is home to some of the most diverse wildlife in the country, making it a truly unique and precious natural treasure. The quarter's design captures the spirit of this incredible park. On the reverse side, you'll see a beautiful depiction of the Casachi landscape, with longleaf pine trees and a swampy creek, showcasing the park's distinctive environment. The design also features a mule deer in the foreground, a nod to the wildlife that thrives in Casachi. The imagery is not just stunning, but it also reflects the wild beauty and ecological importance of the forest. The inscription, Casachi National Forest, and the year, 2015, are displayed along the bottom, marking the quarter's release and its tribute to the national park. On the obverse side of the coin, you'll find the classic George Washington portrait, as is typical with all state and national park quarters. But it's the detailed, nature-inspired reverse side that really makes this coin stand out. Now, let's get to the real question: how much is this quarter worth? I know, you're probably thinking, it's just a quarter, how much could it possibly be worth? Well, this is where things get interesting. The value of the Casachi National Forest Quarter depends heavily on a couple of factors, mainly its condition and whether it contains any minting errors. As with any coin, the key to its value lies in its rarity and preservation. While the Casachi quarter was produced in significant numbers, not all of them were kept in perfect condition. Most were circulated, spent, and worn down over time. However, uncirculated versions of the coin, those that were kept in pristine condition from the moment they were minted, can be worth significantly more than their face value. In fact, uncirculated Casachi quarters can be worth anywhere from a few dollars to a few $100s, depending on their grade. But here's where the real excitement lies: minting errors. When a coin is struck by the press, sometimes errors occur, such as misaligned dies, double strikes, or off-center impressions. These errors can make a coin much more valuable because they are rare and highly sought after by collectors, and it doesn't stop there. Certain Casachi quarters with unusual characteristics or very specific minting imperfections have been known to sell for thousands of dollars. For example, a coin with a double die error, where the design appears twice, or an off-center strike, where the image is misaligned, could be worth much more than you might think. These errors make the coin unique, and collectors love finding coins that stand out from the rest. Now, I know you're eagerly waiting to find out just how much this quarter could potentially be worth, and let me tell you, the value is nothing short of impressive. When you find a high-grade, uncirculated Casachi quarter, or even better, one with a minting error, it can be worth an astonishing amount. Hold on to your seats because here it is, a 2015 Casachi National Forest Quarter, in flawless condition or with a rare mint error, has been known to sell for as much as $30,000. Yes, you heard that right, $30,000 for a single quarter. Imagine finding one of these rare gems in your pocket change or in a collection you've been sitting on for years. What makes this even more incredible is that the Casachi quarter is still relatively recent, so the fact that it has gained so much value so quickly is a testament to its desirability among collectors. As time goes on, the number of pristine or error-filled coins dwindles, making them even more valuable to collectors who are looking for the rarest specimens to add to their collections. So, how do you know if you have one of these valuable coins? It's all about condition and details. If you've got a Casachi quarter from 2015, take the time to examine it closely. Check for any signs of wear or damage. Look for any minting errors, like doubled or shifted designs, and make sure to get it professionally graded if you think it might be a valuable find. If you do find one of these rare quarters in your collection or your change jar, you could be holding on to a small fortune. The coin's historical significance, its beautiful design, and the fact that it represents a unique national park all contribute to its growing value in the world of numismatics. So, before you toss that change aside, remember to give your quarters a second look. You might just have a coin in your hands that could be worth $30,000. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed learning about the 2015 Casachi National Forest Quarter and its incredible potential value, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future discoveries. Happy collecting, and remember, there's more treasure in your pocket than you might think.